Welcome, everyone. We have the Super 7 Reaction Plus Micronauts, Biotron, and Baron Karza. So, this is a modern reinterpretation of vintage Micronauts, which were originally imported from Japan under the Microchange, I believe, Microchange product. For which we got other things like Soundwave and Megatron and Rumble and Frenzy and all that cool stuff. Now, originally, Biotron was a bigger thing. Actually, he might have been like the first Transformer. This guy doesn't transform, but basically he would kind of ball up. His limbs would fold in, and this red area is like the canopy for other smaller Micronauts to fit in. So this is kind of mixing things up a little bit. They're giving us a Micronaut size version of Biotron, who was originally a vehicle for the Micronauts. So just so you know that. And Karza also was big. He was like a bigger robot. Kind of, he was like the Darth Vader, the bad guy for the, Micronauts. But at any rate, they're giving us these, 3.75-inch-ish representations. And I think this is cool. If you really want an original figure, you can go on eBay and look for them. But this is a cool way to have a representation of them. They don't take up a lot of space. The card backs are really awesome. Like I really dig, the recreation work they've done here. So kudos for that. Now, what's even crazier is they've got these Transformer style tech specs on the back. So that's even further just kind of warping things around here a little bit. When I saw this, I was like my mind wanted to explode. Like I don't know what else to say about this. Are they implying that these live in the Transformers universe? I don't know. Um, I know IDW attempted to kind of pull like this Hasbro verse thing together, and they just didn't run with it for some reason. I don't know if Hasbro told them not to. Uh, but they had started kind of laying the groundwork for that and then didn't go anywhere with it. So there's that, but I do think this is pretty cool. Like everything else is very reminiscent to the 70s packaging, but yeah, they've got Transformer style file cards. So very crazy. I almost don't want to open these, but we're going to open these. So if you open them carefully, like I just did, you can maybe keep the cardboard. Quick fast forward here, and here we have them out of the packaging. And they do have the O-ring style construction, so they have the rubber bands between the crotch and the torso. I was taking them up out of the package and uh, got a little confused because I was remembering how Micronauts and Microman originally worked, like how the structure worked, and I had to remember, okay, yeah, these are modern. So the Micronauts and Microman, the joints were more like these, where they were kind of these pinned disc joints. So they've got the pinned joints in the shoulders, but not the legs. They got basically the GI Joe, vintage GI Joe style legs. They do have bicep swivel, and if you're not familiar with G.I. Joe articulation, there's basically a ball joint here, and you have waist swivel, but you've got a rubber band basically holding. I'm trying to think of how to describe it. The ball joint is like a pin that runs across both joints, and then there's a hook on top of this that a rubber band connects to a hook, or actually a bolt inside the chest. So that's how the waist works. They do have disc hinge knees. Nothing for the feet. Nothing for the hands, and the head rotates. More or less the same thing for Bonsai-tron. He's got some funky things going on with his limbs because of how he is situated. Like the proportions are different, so it feels like his joints are constructed differently, but they're not. Although he does have rotating wrist, so that's the added thing. And then as I was taking him out of the package, this came off. So this is kind of cool. This is where the driver, the Micronaut would sit in, and this would be like a cockpit. And the figure, the original figure, basically, you see this kind of faux tread back here. He would kind of, just gonna try to simulate this, but he'd kind of ball up and turn into like a little vehicle, a little buggy. Obviously this guy can't, but they added all these little pieces to, kind of be reminiscent of the original figure. That's kind of cool. And I am really digging the chrome. Like the chrome is super shiny on here. I think that's nice. And yeah, the treads are plastic, but they are a separate piece. And this does come off. This is like your standard G.I. Joe size peg. He can't hold this, but if you wanted to put this on a G.I. Joe, matter of fact, let's take Cobra Commander over here. Just do something goofy and put that on Cobra Commander, and you could totally do that if you wanted to. It would be nice if they had weapons. The original toys did not have weapons, so understandable that they didn't come with them. But as you can see, these are right in there with G.I. Joe, like vintage G.I. Joe stuff. So very cool. I'm really looking forward to them doing more of the figures. I'm sure they will, and maybe they'll make big versions of these. I can definitely see them doing like a super cyborg, but it would be nice if somebody made like a transforming version of him that the Micronauts could, it's basically like a recreation of the vintage toy fully. Who knows if they'll do it, but hey, if they want to make money, I think people will buy it. Thanks for watching. If you haven't done so, please like and subscribe. And as always, tune into more videos coming up. Thank you.